Day 13 was kind of a nondescript day. I don't remember it well. A couple of those days right in there between Socorro and Springerville were just not memorable days. Not sure why, but I mean, it was gorgeous country. I just don't remember it real well, unlike the rest of the trip. But as you can see, I went from Datil to Quemado, and it was about 42 miles. Not much elevation gain, but some. Started off going uphill, as you can see, and then pretty much went downhill the rest of the way into Quemado. Not that downhill is very downhill when you're doing it over 40 miles, as I've said many times before, but it wasn't a bad day, with one exception, but I'll mention that a little later. I crossed the Continental Divide, which is kind of cool to know that if I took a pee on the ground past that sign, it would go into the Pacific Ocean rather than the Atlantic. Those are important things. I came to a town which I knew I was going to come to and kind of excited about. Nate and I went through it on our bicycle trip, Pie Town. And yes, they do have pies there. There were 2 or 3 places that served pie. And I pulled over at a place, the Pie Town Pies, because there were more cars there. I figured it was probably a better place. And it was really a cute place. I chatted with the owner and an employee, and they were really cute and nice. And they told me all sorts of stories about people that came through there. Because they're near the Continental Divide, there are people hiking the Continental Divide Trail. There are people biking the Continental Divide Trail. All sorts of adventures coming through there. So that was kind of neat to talk with them about it. Chatted with one of the employees who was making the pies and the dough, and very casual place, and everyone there was very friendly, as they are in small towns most of the time. They had a really cool map on the wall of people who had been to their establishment and where they were from, and there were pins in the map of where those people were from, and it was really something. They were all over the place, and that was pretty cool. And all those people are, in a way, adventurers, because they didn't take the normal route. They didn't take the freeways. They took the back roads and the highways, and that's pretty cool. I think about if I ever retire, I would enjoy doing something like that, doing the back roads, and so that was kind of, which I guess I was doing anyway, wasn't I? And so I enjoyed that. And I think the only problem for the day was that it was windy. And as you can see by this picture, I'm pointing in the direction of that I'm heading, and the windsock is pointing in the other direction. That's not a good sign as far as wind. And it was pretty strong. And wind's frustrating because I call it the invisible enemy. You can't see it. At least a hill you can see, and it's pretty. Wind is the invisible pain in the ass. And it was pretty windy, and you just kind of got to take it easy and live in the moment and not worry about it too much. And so that was the only tough part. I got to Quemado, and I wasn't planning on staying here. This was the day where I was going to keep going all the way to Springerville, but I'm really glad that I didn't go all the way to Springerville, because it would have been too long a day for that. And the only place to eat was a Mexican restaurant. That's a surprise. It wasn't a Mexican restaurant, but that was predominantly what was on the menu, and it was okay. Not the best I've ever had, but they were calories, and that's what I needed. And this sign right here was on a small hardware store there, and I thought that was kind of funny. Again, we are not in Boulder, Colorado. And had a good sleep. A decent hotel there. There were 2 hotels, but one of them had closed, not enough business. And I may have told the story already, but I thought a lot of the hotels would be struggling because of the pandemic. And as it turns out, I would ask people, I say, you begin any business? They're like, oh yeah, people from Texas are coming up. They don't care. So so they were all right, but another hotel had closed, and so at least I had a place to stay, which was a good idea. Sophia had actually found that place for me, because I wasn't originally going to stay in that town, and she found that place, which was very kind of her. She also moved a lot of the hotels ahead, so I had places to stay, and she did a wonderful job of that. And that was about it. Pretty simple day.